Hey everybody, welcome to PC Perspective. I'm Ryan Strout. We are here today in New York City visiting with our friends at NVIDIA to show off something new that is just being released now and will be available to you later in this fall. What you're looking at here is Grand Theft Auto 5. We're playing it and NVIDIA Surround 3 1080p displays. Running at normal to high quality settings. We'll go through the settings menus as well. You can see here gameplay running really smooth. We can run into people in other cars quite effectively, as you would expect. What's interesting about this particular demo, though, other than my driving, is that all of this is being run on a notebook, a single notebook with a single GPU. This is the Clevo 870DM, and this is one of the first new notebooks that uses the GeForce GTX 980 GPU. And notice I didn't say 980M there. This is a full desktop class NVIDIA 980, GTX 980 GPU that is fully enabled, all 2000 CUDA cores, all the processing capability you're used to, running at the same base, at least the same base and boost clocks that you're used to on desktop fronts. You have 7 gigabit per second memory. Basically the entirety of a GTX 980 discrete graphics card is enclosed in here, as well as this happens to have a Skylake processor in it as well, which help things out. So it's not a mobile, it's not a new spin of a GPU. You're actually looking at what you could buy on a desktop system. And with that capability, with that performance, you have the capability to do things like run NVIDIA Surround at triple 1080p. Here we happen to have 2 displays connected through DisplayPort, 1 connected through HDMI, although that will vary depending on what the OEM kind of configures their systems with. But it works really well. We were able to play through lots of different games here. Obviously, GTA 5 is one of the most demanding titles that you can actually get a hold of now. And you don't have to sacrifice anything, except that guy, on performance, right? You can get top level performance for your mobile gaming. Obviously, you can hook up to desktop monitors. You can do just one if you want as well. Specifications wise, keep in mind this is, like I said, 7 gigabit per second memory, which is significantly higher than what the 980M has, which is 5 gigabits per second. So that's definitely part of what enables NVIDIA to use the full shader count, use the full clock speed capability, and really take advantage of that kind of balanced horsepower distribution on the GPU. Also, this is going to be enabled for overclocking, which we'll have another demonstration of here in just a second. So you and or your OEM, whoever builds your machine, will be able to take those clock speeds higher. And you'll be VR ready as well, right? Oculus has their minimum system requirements out for VR systems, and they have a GTX 970 desktop class, and this is really the first one, single GPU, that's going to be able to meet or beat those requirements. So let's take a quick look at how this Clevo system with its desktop class GTX 980 GPU actually compares to real performance of a desktop system using a GTX 980. All right, now here we have reconfigured things a little bit. Now we have our Clevo system with the desktop class GTX 980 in here. And then we also have underneath an actual system, a full-size desktop using a GTX 980. That has a Core i7-4770K. This has a 6700K, one of the new Skylake processors in it. And we're running the Mordor benchmark at 1080p ultra quality settings. So this is pretty much everything maxed out, the resolutions that you see here. And what you'll find out is the performance on these two machines is really, really, really close, right? Like this is the same performance you're gonna get out of the GPU here as you'll get out of the GPU there. We have some 3D Mark scores we can show you that will validate that as well. And it's really impressive to see. Again, it's not a thin and light notebook, but it is still a mobile device. It's still a portable computer that you can have the same gaming experience across both of these systems. So as we look here at the result, we're looking at an average of 91.04 frames per second and 91.53 frames per second. I'd say that's pretty close to identical. So we've talked about the performance of the GTX 980 for notebooks. Now let's talk about the overclocking capability. This is something that's really new and improved upon from other mobile GPUs in the past. This is a fully unlocked GPU, meaning you're going to be able to change the clock speed offset and the memory speed offset basically as much as you can on a desktop GPU, where on the 980M you're kind of limited to like 130 megahertz offset or so. This, I think they said it has a 700 megahertz limit, which is effectively infinity at this point, right? So here you can see we're running the Unigen Heaven benchmark here, a nice load that's been running on the system for a while, and we have MSI Afterburner here, and you can see we're running at about 1215 megahertz or so at default settings. So I'm just going to go ahead and increase the clock speed offset by 100 and the memory offset by 100 and hit apply. And if we do that, now we can see we're running at 1299, 1302, just over 1300 megahertz on the clock speed, and 3600 megahertz up to 72 gigabits per second, 7200 gigabits per second on the memory, right? And everything seems to be running pretty fine here. Now, you could maybe do that with a mobile GPU that already exists and was shipping, so we'll take this up, I don't know, 175. These overclocking demos are always dicey. We'll do 175 on both. Hit apply there and see what we get out of it. So now our clock speeds are hitting as high as 1364 megahertz, which is a significant boost over obviously what you were going to get already. And all this is happening inside this portable laptop, gaming laptop structure here. We're still running at 85 degrees Celsius. You don't have access to power limits or temperature limits in the mobile form factor. You don't have access to voltage adjustments either. That's something that they think maybe they might be able to do in the future. But because so much of this design is really based on the cooling solution that each OEM implements, it's going to be a little bit more customized. So now I know everybody's excited. You guys are going to want to buy this hardware. What's it going to cost? Obviously, NVIDIA can't tell us the price of MSI or Clevo machines or Asus machines, but kind of a good estimate here is going to be 20 to 25% higher on base notebook cost if you go from GTX 980M to something like the GTX 980, right? So you are going to have to pay a little bit more for it, but you're getting desktop class performance with a lot less limitations in terms of the technology. In terms of availability, late September, early October is when you should actually be able to buy these machines. Although again, we have to talk to Asus, MSI, and Clevo and others about that specific release time frame. I'm excited about it. I'm interested to see what consumers will do with it, what overclockers will be able to do with it, with this type of hardware enablement. And hopefully we'll have a couple of these notebooks in for review very soon. Thanks, guys.